boys, Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. Boys, I'm glad you dropped in. It's raining out today, so I can't chip, or I could chip, but I don't want to. So what I did was I took my little garden trailer in that I hauled behind the estate car. I'm going to put bigger sides on it so that it'll hold more chips. So let's get at it and see how I make out. So here's my dump trailer. It's a little trailer hauled behind the estate car. It holds a good amount of chips already, but the chips blow everywhere, and I expect that'll even happen when I put bigger sides on it. But I'd like to increase the sides, I don't know, 12, maybe 14 inches. We'll see. It should be pretty easy. It's already got stake pockets here, so I'll make some pieces to go down in those stake pockets. And if I can find some material, I'll put a little skin on them there to go around the perimeter, and that'll allow me to hold more chips. As far as the gate goes, like I say, it's a dump trailer, so it dumps. That's a nice feature, but I don't know how I would handle the gate here at the end of it if I put an extender on that. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just do the sides and leave the gate the way it is, and I'll just like mount the chips up this way. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so I think I know what I'm going to use for the struts, that go in the stake pockets there, the stakes. But for the sides, I have a piece of ranch wall here that I can use, but every time I start a woodworking project, it's the same old thing for me. I'm scared to death to cut the wood because I'm afraid to waste it. Man, oh man. I love woodworking, but I hate cutting wood. What a combination. Anyhow, after scratching my head and worrying and fretting and, I come up with this idea. I'm going to make my sides 14 inches tall. So this piece of plywood I have here is 48 inches wide. The sides are going to be 14 inches tall, like I say, and they're 43 and a half inches long. So I can cut two pieces of 14 inch off this and get enough to do the sides. That'll leave me with a piece that's 48 by 50 approximately left of this sheet. So I think that's a good amount to, keep on hand for emergencies. And then I had this piece of aspenite left from another project that I had done, and it's the width of the trailer is 32 inches, so this piece is 34, and it's 14 and a half, 14 and 3/4 high. So I think I can use this for the front. I'm not going to have a back on it, so I use this for the front. Now, the concern I have is cutting the plywood this way, the grain then, well, two of the plies of the plywood, the grain is vertical, so the plywood will bend a lot. You know what I'm trying to say there? But I think what I'm going to do is after I get this mounted, the stake, there'll be a stake here and a stake here. I'm going to put a ribbon of 1x around the top of it, just to hold the top in tight, and that'll keep it hopefully from bowing too much. But then the aspenite, of course, the aspenite doesn't have much strength anyway, but like that's pretty bendy. But again, I think with a ribbon of 1x across the top, it'll hold it pretty stiff. Plus, at the bottom of this piece, where it butts against the trailer, I have that piece of wood that the handle is bolted to, so I'll be able to secure it there. So I think that'll hold this good and solid. So that's what I boiled all this down to. I'm going to cut two pieces 14 inches off of the sheet. That's the next step. That's pretty darn close to 14 inches, if you ask me. So there you go, two sides, I hope. All right, once again, I'm struggling to find wood. Not that I don't have any wood, but like I don't want to cut it and waste it. Ah, what a complex I have about that. Anyway, I've got some old pieces of hemlock here. I'm going to try and cut them, but I need them 16 inches long because as they go in the stake pocket on the trailer, they're going to go down 4 inches, and then I'd like them to be 12 inches above the rail of the trailer, and then that'll leave me 2 inches for a 2-inch cap to go around the edges. So I'm going to try and cut this 16 inches and see how we make out with that. So I'm going to put my stop block on here. And then I should set that there and cut this. Ready? So before I cut any more, I'm just going to rip 3 inches off this, see what it looks like, and then try it on the trailer and see if my figuring is correct. Okay, so here's one of the stakes. The wood doesn't seem that bad. It's pretty solid once I cut into it, cut the roddy part off. It's kind of spalling a little bit here and there, but that's all right. I had to cut it back to 2 3/4. The stakes are 3 inches wide, so I cut them back to 2 3/4 to fit, because that's the width of the stake. And I had to smooth off the roughness so that it would fit in here. It's a little tight, but I'd rather it tight than loose. Now, this is the sideboard, so the sideboard is going to go on here. And that works out all right because it's going to be nice and smooth with the inside edge. So, I mean, that's going to fit good. Now, up at the top here, I left it short, and I'm hoping I left it short by about 2 inches, and I did. So I should be able to put a piece of 2-inch strip along the top here just to stiffen up the sides. So I think that's going to be all right. Okay, so I cut some 2-inch pieces out of small hemlock ahead. I think we're going to use these for the sides. And my idea is that these are going to be a 2-inch cap rail that's going to go around my sideboards and across the front board. Now, the way I want to make the joint here in the corner is I'd like to make it so that I could take the front out if I ever wanted to. So what I'd like to do is have the front headboard butt up against this sideboard, and then I have the 2-inch trim, I guess you'd call it, on the sides, and that's how I can fasten the two pieces together. So doing that, then I would like this head rail here to extend past the edge of this sideboard by the width of the headboard. Wow, that's pretty complicated, I'd say. It turns out my headboard is the same width as this little strip here, so I put that strip on there and use that as a gauge block, and that's about it right there. Now I'm going to put pilot holes in here just because. I want to make sure that come here. I want to make sure that they're well seated. So I'll just use 1-inch screws. All right, that doesn't look too bad there. Now I want to get this. I don't know exactly how long this is yet because I have to put it on and measure it first. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another screw in here just to sort of keep this square. Maybe I'll put 2 in it. I'm going to put a little piece down here now, so I'm going to cut that. So there's my little side piece that's going to go on here. So we'll flip this over again. All right, so there's what that one's going to look like. Now, that means that this should slide off, just like that, and that's what I want, right? I want them to be removable. And then this headboard is going to sit in here, something like so, I'll have it tight against this piece. This will tip forward and lift out. So now I can just, like if I needed to carry long boards or something, or brush, I can do that.